one person is watching. So today's live stream is gonna be about learn how to learn topic. A lot of people have been asking me about how I acquired different skills, starting from boxing, drawing, English, etc. So I decided to make that live stream on specifically that topic because it's not about learning specifically something like something specific, but it's about learning how to learn, learning how to acquire the skill. So let's wait a little bit for people and yeah, we can start having a conversation about it. I'm going to share my experiences, how I learned different stuff, how I approach learning process, and feel free to share yourself with me. Just double checking if mic is working. Anyways, feel free. Thank you. Feel free to share with me how you like to learn. Yeah, 1 second, I'll pay you. But yeah, anyways, let's wait for chat to get more active and we're gonna talk more about it. Okay, that should be good. Yeah. Anyways, I've been always a curious child. I always liked to do things. I was quite introverted, and I think that helped me to focus more on learning different things. Was more artistic person, like that was my main direction. And I guess like a main part of learning is to be committed to it and be consistent about it. Usually that happens through motivation or through engagement when you're quite excited about doing something and using that timing to basically just commit to it as much as possible. Guys, I can see that the views are adding up. Please, thank you. Please say hi in the chat. And today's topic is learn how to learn. I think that's quite an important thing to talk about because a lot of people ask me about different things, how I learned them. Hi Pablo. A lot of people asking me how I learned boxing, how I learned drawing, how I learned singing, English. But it's not about specifically learning one thing or another. It's about learn how to approach the learning process itself. So yeah, I was just talking about a second ago that we're going to have a conversation here, and feel free to share your experience and your insights as well. And well, I already started, the views are adding up, so I'm going to keep talking about me, kind of following back into the childhood period. As I said, I was quite introverted kid, but I liked doing things, mostly artistic things. I was not very good at math and technical subjects, but I was quite good at art. Music kind of came in later on, and the sports came around in my teenage years, combat sports specifically. And English is quite a recent acquirement. I learned English in 2020 and I did it by myself. So, hi Jonathan. Hi, I would say the main thing is be curious and be interested in learning things, to be pretty vague and obvious. Yeah, it's still good to point out, even if it's an obvious thing. Actually, it's good to say those things out loud every now and then, because even though most of us already know it, it's always good to repeat things. And let's talk a little bit more about beyond that, like curiosity and motivation is like natural factors for being able to learn something. It's just the natural fueling aspects of it. It just makes you engaged, and obviously as a result, you commit more time to it, and you get to the certain point. But how do we approach certain things that we know that we need to learn, we need to do, but there is not a motivation exactly, and well, sometimes it's on and off, and well, that's important, like how do we approach those moments? Obviously building the discipline, like the habit out of it, we're going to talk about that too. But also, I believe you still need to fuel the motivation and curiosity. And there are ways how to do it. I personally always structured the learning process for myself, that it makes me more excited, more engaged. Obviously, there is a big part of the discipline, of course, it is. There's like another part of it that I always try to focus. But yeah, like I don't think your brain really can focus on something if you're completely disengaged. So the engagement part, the motivation part is important. And well, we can talk about it, how to fuel it. Well, in the meantime, people, yeah, how are you? I'm doing well, thank you. Beautiful, I appreciate it. We're talking about, Millie, hi. We're talking about today, about learning how to learn as the topic. So yeah, feel free to share your experience, your insights. And I'm just going to keep talking about my experience, how I learned different skills throughout my life. How did I commit to it? What did I do? How did I structure it, etc. Yes, my dad does conferences on that. Oh, that's amazing. Tell us more about your dad. Tell us what he's teaching other people. That could be very helpful and useful for the stream and for the people in the chat as well. Guys, no tolerance to the bullshit. I just gonna hide user from channel. Yeah. I'm gonna just say one thing as like a side topic. Even though the YouTube experience so far being very positive and most of people being respectful, engaging, actually share some of their values, especially on the streams, and that is highly appreciated. But I had a case of someone sending inappropriate pictures on my email, quoting that it is a boxing video and they need my help. Someone from California. I'm gonna make a separate video about it. Might not expose directly, but gonna make a warning video for people. Be careful with what they do. Engaging in a chat, trolling, joking. Like I'm all about the jokes and humor and stuff. No problem. But once it gets disrespectful and out of context towards me, and especially towards other people in the community, in the chat, you're gonna get hidden from the channel. And if you're gonna try to email me with some inappropriate stuff, me and my husband gonna try our best to give you a legal consequence out of it, if it's possible. So just as a warning, okay? It is I don't really care about it. I don't like I have my husband is filtering out the emails. Like when I opened the email and I saw that, I thought directly that wouldn't be anything good, so I just gave it to my husband and he dealt with it. But there are so many girls out there who are getting exposed to basically a cyber flashing, and that's illegal in many places in the world. It is something that I rather speak out about it and encourage others to, be protect their boundaries. Again, I'm not trying to target anyone. I'm not like if you're gonna be nice to me, I'm gonna be 10 times nicer to you and trying to help you as much as possible. But if there is disrespect and especially illegal actions, For some people, it might not sound that much, but whatever is illegal, it is illegal. It is illegal for a reason. Okay, so just warning you guys, even in here, in this chat, if there is something inappropriate, I'm just gonna hide you from the channel. That's it. Okay, let's talk about Emil is that. He teaches about spaced repetition and also focusing on understanding and not just memorizing. That is very good insights, and those are a little bit more practical aspects to it. I'm very glad that you are now here in the stream because I feel like your dad has more of the professional look at it, and that is great. That's what we need as the pointers here, and we can talk about it. Completely agree. I did both spaced repetition and I did. I always try to understand the material first before even just trying to memorize it like outright. Just pushing yourself, forcing yourself in that, just force yourself to memorize things. It's a little bit outdated approach, and that's not like it's not working, it's just inconsistent. I believe that people who try to learn that way, and it was very common at the school. It was very, that's what I see. It's still very common in school because the system is built around just memorizing the material without, it doesn't matter if you understand because you need to just go write your exams, pass the exams, and that's it. And then you forget about it. You don't even, you don't ever come back to it. But that's just for a real learning, for a skill set learning, it's just inconsistent. So another aspect of studying and learning is we need to find a way how to make it consistent and how to kind of turn into a discipline, how to make it sustainable. Hi from New Zealand, hi. Expose him. I'm gonna, well, I don't know exactly who is that. I only know name and where they're from. I'm gonna make a separate video, okay? Let's keep it out of the today's topic. Now let's focus on the positive. Guys, again, neither of us are perfect, but it's just, I said what I said, okay? I really believe that there are consequences to certain actions, and whatever we do, we need to understand that there are certain things that we shouldn't get away with, and other people also need to make sure that if we make some of the wrongdoings, we shouldn't get away. This is how society works. This is how it should work. Otherwise, we're just going to have a complete mess of the society. But anyways, hi Tyler, and thank you for moderating. It's one of our moderators. Hey, my daughter loves your channel. Can you give a shout out to Anita? Yes, I'm not gonna say that. Shout out to whoever. That's what I can say. Okay, anyways, guys, I'm from South Korea. Hi. Okay. Anyways, okay, I'm all the way up to in the top of the chat. But again, reminding you guys, now one of our moderators is here, Tyler, shout out to you. And yeah, just everything that is inappropriate, just gonna, everyone who's inappropriate is gonna be hidden from the channel. Very simple. Anyways, let's have more about, let's have a conversation actually about that. Well, share your experiences. How you study things, what skills did you acquire? There's what are you good at, meaning what you actually managed to learn, and when you are trying to learn things, what is the things that happens easy for you, or what are the things that actually you struggle with? Any tips on bring more discipline? Okay, well, I can talk also I can talk from my experience as the main thing. But when it comes to the discipline, both me and my husband looked a lot into a certain tricks, like a psychological protocols that help to really build it up. Not because this discipline, you're not born disciplined. Discipline is the acquired skill. So, in my personal experience, the way it works and the way I get better at the being disciplined in different aspects of my life is starting from the small things. For example, let's say pretty much I grew up with the discipline in my childhood. I had to go to sports, had some duties, some chores, and I had to do those things. So it was kind of partially ingrained in my childhood. But then I had a period when it was kind of not that much of the routine, not that much of the consistency, just kind of living the life and maybe even aimless to a certain extent. And I can talk about, okay, from that period, how I would go, for example, and focus more on boxing. The best example, I can talk about whatever you're going to ask me about, but let me point out one of the biggest things I learned is the English language. It's the reason I learned, due to that, I'm here like streaming, talking to you in English. It was 2020, and I was maybe barely A1, at the bottom of that A1 level of English language, basically barely knowing any basic words. And I started thinking, okay, what is the thing that can change my life for good, for better, and open a lot of doors and opportunities in my life? 1 second. Anyways, I continue. So first was the question, what can I do? What can I learn? So it's not just learning something that I just like and I would want to, I did that many times in my life. I learned how to play guitar. I learned how to draw better and better. I learned how to wood carve, especially when it comes to the art and just creating something with my hands. I learned quite a lot of things. But it was also a more important question. I had to establish what to learn for to give me certain results and bring some positive consequences in my life. And the answer was clear. That was learn English. If you don't know English, learn English. That is international language. They're going to give you opportunity to communicate with people, to work at a better job, and many other benefits to it. So I'll stop there for a second and going to read a little bit of the comments, and I can continue that story, how I structured it and what timing I took out, consistent practicing and then the further practicing when it comes to the English. Okay, side question. What's the best martial art for MMA in your opinion? You gotta focus both on striking and grappling. So I think what is the best is to go to an MMA gym, and then you can. They usually have very good classes. Like you have BJJ separate, kickboxing separate, boxing separate, and unified MMA class as a separate thing. Try to attend all of it and try to split the days per week. Let's say couple days it's a BJJ, couple days it's a striking. That's the best way how you can start. Hi Scarlett. More and more people start calling me that. I don't know, maybe a little bit. She's pretty though. But anyways, let's continue on the topic. English. How I started. So it's pandemic. Lots of time, the curfew, basically we were getting paid in Georgia. That was the time when I was in Georgia, and we were not allowed to work, and the gym I was working at as a company, they were just paying us like a minimal wage, and it was enough money to have food, like pay. I think we didn't have to pay bills at that time, and well, including internet, if I'm not mistaken. Rather, we had to pay very little. And oh, okay, thank you, Ricardo. Guys, just a little quick thing. So I think there was a little super like or donation, and I just got monetized, so I don't really know how it's supposed to look and work, but thank you. Anyways, keep going on the continue that topic, because I really want to hear your stories as well when it comes to that. And okay, I just like it. Yeah, thank you. Anyways, let's continue. I was talking about English, curfew, having basically access to internet, and that's it, and unlimited time. So I literally started contributing 5 to 7 hours daily in average for entire 3 months. And I set the goal for my English. It wasn't just, following the certain protocol, just following those books, which is A1 level, A2 level, then B1, B2, etc. What I decided to do, make it more exciting and just adapt it to my personality and my goals. So I also I unified certain few goals together with learning English. One of the reasons I wanted to learn English was to learn how to learn more about fitness, make myself more qualified with the information, with the first-hand information and the research that essentially is being uploaded in English. So at the time, before I knew Georgian and I knew Russian, and Russian was my biggest language, and even it was way behind on that latest updates, which are quite frequent. And so I decided, okay, I'm gonna use a lot of materials from the articles, science articles, research, like with the hard language, all this advanced vocabulary. So I was taking those materials for translation, for reading, for learning sentences, just for, like a reading part of it. Because you still follow the standard, which is reading, speaking, writing, some grammar, and learning words. Like those are inevitable things. But it's up to you how you structure it for, how you perceive better. Like if you perceive better by listening, you do more listening, but you still do writing and reading. If you do vice versa, at least at the very beginning, you focus on reading and writing, grammar, and then you gradually add up more listening, because listening and speaking is essentially when you want to get. I'll pause one more time, just look into what's the updates here. Matt says, and Matt is always a sweet guy. He's like always says to be respectful to this married woman. She's good. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And people who watch me for now, like since I started streaming, they are understand more the importance of that. We're trying to build a community here and actually do something valuable. And even if those streams and videos just help a single person, which some of the people already gave me feedback that it made them more motivated, more self-focused, helped them to identify the goal. That is the goal for me, okay? So I appreciate all people who watch me for a longer time now, and they're always respectful. How many languages do you know? I know Georgian, Russian, and English, so I'm trilingual. I need to get to bed, but this is an interesting subject, so I'll come back and watch this when I can. Have a good night, whatever time it is for you all. Jonathan, have a good night. Take care of yourself, and see. So you can rewatch the stream later and see you on some other streams. I stream on different times, and sometimes it's a good timing for different countries. Tyler says, I mean, for a combat sport, I watched a person to a tornado kick like 50 times on YouTube short, and I finally got it. So if I can see it, can do it visual learner. Okay, that's a good point. Also, I saw you on the back. Very good. Thank you. Appreciate it. But that's when it comes to specifically martial arts and especially learning a movement as a skill set. I think visual learning is a big thing. Like I have done pretty much the same what you just said, to learn a certain movements, a certain kick, certain punch. I've just been watching and watching and watching. I did same with sprinting. When I started learning sprinting from scratch, I really focused on just watching, understanding the technique, biomechanics behind it, what is the key aspects to it. And well, if we even go to the English language, doesn't matter if it's a language or a martial art, you have to identify key aspects. As I said, for English, key aspects is it still remains learning the words, just as many words as possible in your own pace, do reading, do writing, basic grammar, listening and speaking. Like those are like a key aspects. And then you start thinking, okay, how do I do it? Should I follow that protocol that is written? It's very helpful to use it, no offense. It just doesn't work exactly the same way for everyone. So back to my English experience, I focused on a lot of science-based articles and materials for reading, translation, and writing those advanced words and writing in my advanced vocabulary. Literally, I made a separate notebook and wrote advanced vocabulary. Those were two first advanced words for me. And this is where I started. I actually quite broke the basic blueprint for it. Usually you start from the basic words, let's say it's 1,000 basic words, and you go like a A2 level words, A3 level words. If it works better for you, just follow that system step by step, just go ahead. But for me, I just decided to mix everything because I can focus on many things at a time. And to me, if that was a word, I don't know, let's say it's a fork, which is a very simple word, it's an object, but then it's like sophisticated. Like those words could be on the same page for me. And for some reason, that worked as the good reset. My brain was refocusing, and that way, over time, I would memorize it way better than just having, okay, we learn about the room first, like the objects in the room, and basically splitting those words in the topics. So to me, the mix of the words, both non-advanced and advanced, helped me to actually fasten it up. American? No, I'm Georgian. Okay, keep scrolling up. You got a husband? Yes, I have a husband. Where are you from? Which country? Georgia. Currently, we're in the Vietnam, but it's the Georgia, the country. What is your channel about? Well, if you look at my channel, it's gonna show some diverse content. Mostly, it's still about training, boxing, sprinting, sharing my training journey, and doing some teaching videos. But also, I host karaoke nights here in Vietnam temporarily, so I stream karaoke nights as well. What else I do? I started drawing. So one of the streams, was the first time I tried it. It was basically drawing, talking and drawing live, and so showing the stages. And today it's the topic is about learning, how to learn, because a lot of people ask me about the different skills I got. How did I learn them? And I just decided to make it like one stream about learning. What do you think about India? We've been in India, me and my husband, last year for months. Been in Mumbai, Goa, Amritsar, Haridwar, Rishikesh, and Delhi. And it was good. It was a very interesting experience. Ilya or Mirab? I love both. Obviously, they're both Georgians, and I cheer for both. But Mirab is my favorite. Just though Elias like MMA skills, technique, boxing aspect to it is spectacular. Guys, whoever wants to subscribe, just get to the channel. I usually don't say subscribe and like. I mean, I believe people can do that anyways if they like to. Are redheads rare in Georgia? I'm not exactly redhead, but I have light hair color, and that's because my mom is Slavic. She's half Russian, half Ukrainian, and my father is Georgian. So I'm a mix. How long have you do martial arts for? I think like 11 years now, because I started from karate goju ryu when I was around 14, 15, and then I moved to the boxing. But then I trained a little bit kickboxing just for fun, basic MMA training, BJJ, a little bit of wrestling. So it's kind of, within the community, we would just gather and train together and stuff. But boxing been my main focus for years now. And now lately, last year, around the same time, I started sprint training from scratch that really contributed in my boxing as well. Some, Tyler says, our moderator, some advanced words I know, nefarious, extemporaneously, quantum entanglement. I'll be honest, I don't know the definition of neither of those words, but feel free to share what it means. Okay, Matt says, I only been to all 50 US states, Canada, England, Germany, France, Japan, South Korea, Iraq, Afghanistan, Kuwait. Oh, that's quite a big portfolio. That's good for you. I suppose you're American originally, because 50 states is quite a lot. And interesting, we actually go to Kuwait, and we're going to spend the entire month in Kuwait with our friends and do very interesting stuff there in the beginning of the September. My accent is Georgian, I guess, or okay, Georgian accent, Russian accent are a little bit more tough if you would talk like this, but I don't talk like this. I'm trying to make it as generic English accent. Matt is either telling lies or he's rich. Well, not exactly. My husband has been like not rich, but doing well. But he travels his entire life, and it's about knowing how to travel. Knowing how to book tickets, and especially if you're from US, you can afford pretty much traveling everywhere. All the countries mentioned were basically cheaper than US. Are you single or married? I'm married. Can you jab? I just want to see how kickboxing in your country teaches it. Well, you can check my videos. You will see how I jab, okay? Right now, I'm just not in that environment. It's just boom. I can show you the different jabs. Sometimes I throw the elbow higher because I just want to slip the opponent's elbow. Sometimes I throw it like a quick, short jabs. And yeah, you can look more on my channel. God may bless you, sister. Appreciate it. Thank you. Guys, just a reminder, keep being respectful, and also don't spam too much, because the moderators are specifically putting on the timeout or hiding users who are spamming way too much, and especially the ones who are being disrespectful. Not only to me, I don't really get bothered that much, but I don't like when, especially someone gets disrespectful to the chat, to the other people. So just be considerate. Yes, someone told me to basically throw a jab like upside down to protect face. Trust me, there are many ways. Once you kind of get comfortable in it, you can improvise. There's so many styles, so many interesting. As long as it works, just do it. Hi, what's the stream about? Well, we're talking about learning how to learn. There have been quite a lot of questions about how I learned boxing, English, drawing, singing, this and that. And just decided to talk about generally about learning how to learn, because it's actually about pretty much the same structure. So you'll need to identify your goal. For a better motivation, and that's what I wanted to say regarding English, regarding boxing, everything I learn is I kind of think about in the future how else it's going to contribute in the success, in different things, how it's going to help me in my life. At the very least, being able to get the job or a side hustle if we look at in the bigger scale, just help me to build up my persona as, diverse and multi-skilled person. So I always, even when I was a teenager, I didn't know how exactly that would work out, but I would do it like I would have that intention. And that would give me a way longer and more consistent, not only discipline, but actually motivation too. So with the English, for example, because I got excited about the idea of, getting fluent with English-speaking people, discover the whole new world for myself, being able to be more knowledgeable in the fitness, physical preparation, and everything, all the science revolving around those topics. Also, I would watch another important thing for hearing, for listening, and just listening. I wouldn't watch movies because I didn't really watch that many movies at the time. I really started watching more movies and TV shows together with my husband. But what I would do, I would watch YouTube traveling videos and traveling vlogs, because that was something that really, really excited me. And I was imagining, okay, here I'm like somewhere in Europe, in the Prague and in the Paris and in Italy, and those like vlogs, how they just walk around, talk about everything, describing the environment. That was very, very helpful. Like there was a lot of, like quite a big material for my hearing lessons and like listening lessons for English. And obviously, I always would I would pause. I would use subtitles, pause. If there is any word that I don't know, I would write it down. Even if it's like there's some word that I couldn't memorize repetitively, I would still write it down. Even if it's written on like every single page. I remember there was the word suspicious. I don't know, for some reason I couldn't memorize it for quite a long time. I was always, what's that word? And I would go quickly to the Google Oxford Dictionary, basically just put the word and just write meaning next to it or definition, and it shows you the English Oxford definition and also translation to the language of your choice. So that works better than the Google Translate. That's another tool I can give you for English learning. And even when I stopped doing that consistently, like that 3 months was very like an intensive course, and I really, really learned I diversified my vocabulary. Then I got the offer at the studio, a job offer to train a lot of foreigners, and I agreed immediately because that would be a direct practice and experience for me. And even at that period, when I kind of stopped learning those words like that much, I wasn't committing that much time anymore after the intensive 3 months, I would always I would look up the word in the Google Oxford Dictionary, and yeah, it's like just a couple seconds. And I would do that a few times a day for different words, at least 5 words. So this is one way how my vocabulary got more diversified. And obviously with the combination with the experience and getting the constant practice at work, then I started making more foreign friends. I had a couple foreign friends before, and I'm kind of surprised how they didn't even hold they didn't how they did ever even hold the conversation with me. But yeah, I mean, since my English started getting better, I just looked for more communication with foreigners, and that was the beautiful part of it. In Georgia and Tbilisi, there are quite a lot of foreigners from all around the world, and it was so fascinating to hear their stories, their traveling experiences, and just engage in the conversation. Essentially, in the places like just a bar or cafe, when it's like casual, people are open to socialize. I would just talk to people, just approach them sometimes, and it's like, hi, it's like, my name is Diana, and where are you from, this and that. And then after I would say that, you know what, like, if I don't bother you, I would like to, hang out a little bit, talk a little bit. I also practice English, so, and everyone pretty much 99% of the time, people were absolutely engaging and absolutely helpful. Okay, we keep scrolling up. English is your native language. Well, that's my third language, definitely not native language. My first language was actually Russian, because my mother is half Russian, half Ukrainian. My father also knows Russian, so she didn't know Georgian when they moved to Georgia. So my first language was in Russian. Then I learned Georgian in the kindergarten. This is how it started. Then Georgian is quite a hard language, so I think I became fluent and talking properly actually around in the seventh grade. And yeah, English is quite a recent one. It's 2025. But I can tell that, well, a lot of people tell me that I became fluent in English, and the reason is because my lifestyle got deeply tied with the English language. My husband is Norwegian, then essentially, like, after making a lot of friends and, meeting a lot of people, I essentially met my husband, who happened to travel to Georgia for some reasons, and he's like a big-time traveler. Originally from Norway, but having a very good generic American accent. For Norway, it's like a second main language, and most of the Norwegian people know English language quite well. So since we started living together, since we got married, yeah, it just became a 24/7 practice. And I still getting better at it. There's sometimes words that I don't know, and that is quite new for me. And I ask my husband, or I still use the Google, and fortunately, I always get my answers. And I keep getting better and better at it. I'm from Georgia, the country. So if you know Elia Topuri, Merab Tavalishvili, Lasha Talahadze, the weightlifter, gold medalist, Georgian Hulk, Levan Saginashvili, the arm wrestler. Yeah, those are the people from the same country. It's definitely scary when you want to do something that's out of your comfort zone. Yeah, that can be scary, but even that is modifiable. And for me, and especially for naturally introverted people who are a little bit scared of going out, for English, for example, a lot of people start understanding English, but they're like struggling with speaking up because they're afraid. But that's the thing. Good thing about self-learning is that you can do it privately, for that you can prepare yourself. You can actually practice quite a lot on your own, at your home, behind the curtains. And then at some point, obviously, you have to kind of go out in the world and try to practice and use those skills with people. But that's a good part of it. You don't have to do it straight away. Just set your own pace to it. Prepare yourself properly so you actually are ready enough to break the comfort zone. Most people are not good at math. I'm not good at math. That's one of the things I think. Okay, there's some skill sets that you might not have a time motivation. It's not your priority to acquire it, but it would be quite useful. Look for a partner who is good at it, or look for a friend or business partner, someone in your close circle who can compensate your weakness, and vice versa. You can compensate that weakness. Me and my husband's relationship actually works pretty much that way. He's way more technical. He understands crypto, math, economy. He understands how to, how the system works, and that is very good because, that's not my stronger side. But my stronger side is communicating with people, understanding their emotions, their struggles, and that is tied to training and, like self-confidence, self-awareness, self-perception, learning how to learn type of topics. That's why I'm trying to target those topics on my channel. Not only talk about training and just showing some exercises, but actually kind of deep dive in what happens besides it, what happens emotionally, what happens from the neurochemical point of view, biological point of view, how it kind of targeting the same thing, same topic from psychological part and also biological part of it. He's a Georgian vampire. Those are the bands that I have to use. I actually came here from my dentist appointment, and yeah, they told me to wear them all the time, which is almost impossible, but I'm trying my best. Tyler, one more time, thank you for moderating. I appreciate it. Where are you native to? To Georgia. I'm a native Georgian. With such a great vocabulary, you should really consider writing music or ideas. Maybe. I've written one single song and it's in Georgian. And I play it in the guitar and sing. I'll do it once I have a guitar. But I agree. I've been thinking about it. It's just right now not a priority. But at some point, I'm going to have an opportunity to do more of the music and more of the art, apart from the sports as well. Were you afraid to start your drawing hobby? I know for me it was hard because I had a hard time trusting the process. Actually, drawing is, I believe it or not, but maybe that's where I'm the most naturally talented. I literally started drawing when I was 2 years old. I just grabbed a pencil one day, started, just drawing around on the paper. By the time I was 6, I could already draw way better than other kids my age. Then when I was in 5th grade, my parents took me to the art school, like part-time with the regular school. And after learning some academical principles and acquiring that knowledge, I just became natural. But it's still a skill. It's still like, as an artist, the more you practice, the better you get. Even if you're not very good in the beginning, you practice to the point that you actually unlock that vision, and then you become exponentially good. I've seen that in other people. I witnessed that, but that's not my case with drawing. And when it comes now, for example, started streaming and drawing, like at the same time, I was like drawing Joan Jones, even though I haven't drawn in 9 months, I knew that I would get there because I have quite a big confidence when it comes to me essentially putting the character on the paper. It might be a freestyle, it might be more detailized work or less detailized work, it might take an hour or take 5 hours or days, but I know I will get there. So I was quite confident about starting live streaming and drawing at the same time, and I'm definitely gonna do more this week. But any skill set, whether you naturally have a good tendency to it or not, it's still practice does the job. Practicing does the job. So keep practicing. And when it comes to the confidence, well, from the beginning, try to surround yourself with the people that are not judgmental, but actually are encouraging you. So you feel comfortable sharing your creation with them and sharing your acquired skills, basics that you learn through, and take their help and their advice. Like, try to avoid circles where everyone is judgmental, try to put you down, make you feel bad about yourself. That's just not gonna work. Yes, it was Dustin the Diamond's last fight. Yes, I know, and I talked about it. And yeah, I love Dustin Poirier. He's the Diamond. Are you Orthodox Christianity or Orthodox stance? Orthodox stance? Yes, I am. Christianity, I rather would say I have my personal system of beliefs. Russian, not Russian exactly. I have some Russian roots, Russian, Ukrainian, general Slavic roots, but I was born in Georgia and basically Georgian citizen, and my father is Georgian, so I'm Georgian. Beauty and brains. I mean, baby. Why did I say baby? I don't know. That was just a Tourette's. Anyways, this, as you call beauty, I always keep forgetting to make the video me 7 years ago when I was 18 and now at the 25. And the enhancement, like the way I look now, is way better than it used to be. And there are certain adjustments. We can talk about it later too. If you really want to know how to naturally enhance your looks, there are definitely tools to it. But anyways, guys, I want to hear more about your learning experiences, the challenges, and I want to talk more about those kind of things. Sometimes dialects can be tricky at times, yes. I started from generic American English. Everything I've been watching pretty much was in the generic English. But then at some point I watched more British stuff and started understanding better British English than Australian, especially together with my husband, because we watch different stuff and he likes to pick some cool shows. Like Australian, what we think we watched, for example, was Mr. In Between. It's about a skinhead and his regular life, but also his job and stuff. Very interesting to watch and hear that generic Australian accent. The British was The Crown, Sherlock, some stuff like that, So it gives you some insights on different accents. And you start getting better and better at it. I wouldn't be able to understand some Scottish and Irish, from some, I don't know, Northern Ireland accent. I had an experience, me and my British friend went to his friend, and, when we were engaging in a conversation together, their English was normal. And then once they remembered their childhood story and they started talking between each other, and their English changed immediately. It just transferred from English to gibberish to me. And I was just watching and trying to pick up words, but nothing makes sense. And then they looked at me. I was like, "Oh, sorry," and they switched back to the normal English. So it's quite natural not being able to understand some dialects, and you shouldn't feel bad about that, because I believe if you live in that specific region and you interact with people for a year, for a few months or a year, you're gonna definitely start picking it up quickly. Are you doing gym stream today? Not today because I have quite a lot of work to do afterwards, but tomorrow. What's your native language? It's Georgian, Russian and Georgian, I guess. But Georgian, even though it was my second language, I'm from Georgia, so technically that is my native language. Okay, keep scrolling up, guys, trying to, see different comments. You communicate very well in English, is not even your first language, so kudos. I appreciate it. Thank you. And as I said, to really do it efficiently, I identified my goal first. The goal itself was motivating me to do it for some time, really contribute time to it and really, really delve into it. Then it was the structure. I was like, okay, how do I do it even more engaging for me and more exciting? I took the basic essentials in the language, so the key aspects of learning that skill set, learning a language, which is learning words, the basic and advanced vocabulary, reading, listening, speaking, and basic grammar. But I also created my individual system. I just individualized it and tied some other interests and some other goals that I have to that goal. So basically, how you say that, killing a few rabbits with the one shot. This is basically what I did. When you try to systemize it that way, it is way, you kind of think about it, okay, that's way more worth it. And I think it just works better. It's just good for fueling your motivation as well. But when we talk about consistency and discipline, we're going to target that part more in a bit. Okay, keep scrolling up, guys. Do you feel English destroyed native language? For some reason, it messed up my Russian a little bit, but not Georgian. My Georgian is good. It didn't really change. Maybe because it's like a certain structural differences between Russian and English. So now sometimes I have to, when I start speaking Russian, I need to translate it from English sometimes and kind of put that in the right structure because the structure is different. But also, I think due to experience, even though I speak Russian occasionally, I speak way more often in Georgian and even more often in English. So I guess it's one of the reasons. She's been boxing? Yes, I do. I have to delete someone to subscribe to you. I don't know if it works that way. I think you can subscribe unlimited amount of times. She beats up books. It's funny enough, I'm not exactly reading that much books. With my lifestyle and with my schedule, it's easier to do audiobooks, and I like to listen to the materials. Listening, learning, reading, using AI. Guys, let's talk about AI too, because artificial intelligence is a great tool for learning. I'm not even joking. Instead of going to the net, pick up that, find the right source, you can really do that with few AIs, and you don't even have to pay necessarily for it, unless you want a bigger features for it. And it's been very, very helpful. I can tell you that. I'm gonna grab my coconut. So trying to stay hydrated. good source of potassium. So if you're in Southeast Asia, you're drinking coconuts, it really fills up the half of your potassium requirements for daily intake. Hi, ma'am, from Philippines. Hi. Did you watch the Pacquiao fight? Like Manny Pacquiao is like a national hero, so I bet every Filipino watched it. Almost everyone, at least. I hope she's not married, so I would marry her. But unfortunately, for you, I guess, I'm married. Were you told you were good and natural along with you being beautiful by male teachers quite a lot? Well, funny enough, my school teachers were mostly women, almost all women. I don't know this. I think this is how post-Soviet countries work. Most of the teachers are women, and they are, trust me, some of them are tough. When it comes to arts, so we had male teachers, and they were genuinely good people and never focused. First of all, I was a kid at that time, so they were not the predators. Like, I remember only positive about my art teachers. And when it comes to boxing and martial arts, it's actually good. Like, I've been told that it's not good. I have to work harder. I've been even told that I don't have exactly a talent to it by males. And this is another reason I was really committed to sports, even more to the arts at that time, because arts, drawing, painting was easy to me. And I've been told that I'm good, that I need to pursue it more. Whether when it was boxing, I've been told the raw truth that no, child, you gotta practice. So, yeah, trust me, there was no emphasis on looks, and I was not that good looking as I'm now, comparatively speaking. In my previous years, I'm definitely gonna make that video. I'm gonna find the pictures and like something and just show you how maturing, focusing on certain aspects, focusing on your diet and base level of activity, staying fit, tracking calories, having the right hair color, taking care of your hair and skin. You obviously already do that with a good sleep and good nutrition. My eyebrows were always bad, so I got the permanent, very natural permanent makeup on my eyebrows that enhanced my looks drastically. And as you see, the braces are working, so it also affected my facial shape, my teeth positioning. It feels way more, it feels different. Like if I find those pictures out, like you can see that the difference between me then and me now. And I guess the maturity as well. The more mature you are, the more self-centered you are. I think that helps also to give away a little calm and pleasant vibe rather than just, having, mimics all the time and, being, having less control over your emotions. Okay, I'm keep scrolling up, guys. Do you like the redhead jokes? Go ahead, try me. How it feels when people care more about the looks than your skill and profession. I try not to pay attention to it, and I try to keep setting the tone towards what I'm doing and what is important. As you notice, I say I respond to those comments. I respond to the compliments too. I'm not going to demand from people something that is unnatural, which is not most of people. This is our biological tendency to assess a person by looks. How healthy they are, by when we choose partner, when we choose the teammates. It's a natural thing. So I'm not gonna ask people, say, don't judge me by my looks, like judge me by my personality. All I can do is just focus on my personality, on my beliefs, on the values. That's all I can do. Favorite book of yours? Well, I actually liked Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power. That might not be, I know barely maybe one woman apart from me who wrote, who read that book. But I was actually listening. It was an audiobook. Another book that I liked was Dan Millman's The Peaceful Warrior. I read the first one. I think he has a series of books, but I like that one quite a lot. I had read some of the Russian literature, like directly. So Dostoevsky books like Crime and Punishment and Преступление и наказание and Idiot, the Karamazov brothers. I read this. I read Anna Karenina Tolstoy, Bulgakov, Master and Margarita. So a lot of literature earlier, before I learned English, was Russian literature that I was writing. I really liked actually American Tragedy. I think that's how it's called. The book of the Stendhal book. Is an American writer. Yeah, that book made me cry in the end. So yeah, there are some other books I read too, but as I said, I kind of moved more from the literature to a life skill promoting books, more like a psychological books, more scientific materials and articles, stuff like that. At some point, I liked some detectives. I read some Agatha Christie books, and there was this one detective book where it was a very good one, but I don't remember the author. Anyways, those are just the flashbacks trying to remember what I've read. You know Mirab or Lietapuria? Yes, I know who they are. Okay, I'm keep scrolling up. Hi, Tripto. Tripto says, hi Diana, how do you feel about answering the same questions over and over? I don't mind. I acquired that skill after working a lot with people. I'm ready to answer the same question 1,000 times until that's gonna start making sense. So even though sometimes they can be tiring, but I think I'm pretty good at it, especially after working with kids for some time. So when I was working in the studio, I did some kids classes, and it was very precious experience because it was not that much about training. It was about teaching them the values and respect and friendship and like all of those kind of things. And yeah, that was good experience. And with kids, I had to repeat it all over and over and over and over and over again. But it was worth it. I have a woman that fluctuates her opinion 1,000 times per day. Well, when you explain your feelings 1,000 times a day, that might be not an advantage. I mean, I'll tell you what, the more I really started working on focusing on the real self-work, accountability, responsibility, self-reflection, consistency, things like that, I really start focusing too much on the way I feel. Because a lot of feelings are invalid. For example, sometimes I'm in a not very good mood for no reason. Well, the reason can be my period cycle, which is the biological reason and which is completely fine. But instead of focusing on it, how bad I feel, I just try to adjust it with the physical adjustments. I exercise, even a minute or a couple of rope skipping or just doing shadow boxing already helps. So if you drop your body in a fight and flight response through the training, your adrenaline, your cortisol, your serotonin gets kicked in, and it just changes biochemistry. All of a sudden, from feeling not very good, you start feeling good. And since I know how to adjust those things, I don't waste my time on just talking out loud and bothering others way too much with how I feel. And if there is something that really bothers me, regarding someone that's not like with my husband or my friends, that is honestly not very often, especially with my friends. I'm probably the most chill person to be friends with. Like no judgment, nothing, just gonna tell you my opinion straightforward, but not gonna do it in a way to make you feel like I will show you that my intention is not to make you feel bad. It's just, as a good friend, my duty is to be honest to you. And with my husband, there are some things sometimes, but even there, we learned how to communicate things without fighting, repeating same things 1,000 times over and over again. So this is the matter of practice. As I said, the more I started focusing on really disciplining myself with my life, I really stopped focusing and bothering way too much with the things. And sometimes I feel surprised when people get offended. Trust me, a lot of people get offended by me, and without me having even an intention to offend them. I genuinely like helping people, and if I tell them something, especially when they ask, it's not for me to hurt their egos or anything like that. But that happens quite often because I think a lot of people focus on the emotion, but emotion is fed by the post-trauma, the ego, the superego, the even the bodily processes, and like a certain lifestyle can promote a certain emotional profile. If you're more physically active, if you're, have a good routine, good food intake, good sleep, you're gonna be way more balanced emotionally than if you'd have those things out of control. Okay, I keep scrolling up, guys. How do you approach getting out of your comfort zone? Is it difficult? It is difficult. Hi, Angie. It is difficult, but just keep scrolling a little bit more up. Just 1 second. Yeah, anyway, there are a lot of engagements, so I'm just scrolling all the way up. But Angie, I'll respond to you how I approach leaving the comfort zone. The more often you do that, the better it is. But it doesn't have to be something dramatic. So, for example, what a lot of people do as the leaving the comfort zone is they start training and they start running straight away, and then run in a way to high pace. They just exhaust themselves, they feel bad about themselves, and they don't do that again. That's a bad way, that's a wrong way. As a strategy, that's not the best way how to leave the comfort zone. From the other hand, if you want to to make it consistent, you start from the little adjustments. You literally start from things like if you, for example, wake up at a certain time and you just tend to procrastinate, you don't get up straight away, well, start practice like a 5-second rule. So you just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You inhale, exhale, and you just jump up, open curtains, look in the window, open the window, let the natural sunlight get into your system through your eyes, and just give yourself a couple of minutes, and then you're already up. Go wash yourself, go shower, help yourself to wake up even more. You already did something you already left your comfort zone. So to make it consistently, that's not a very big adjustment. That's actually something that you can focus trying to do consistently. At least, let's say, set the weekdays and weekends. Reward yourself, let yourself rest. But on the weekdays, set the target, like 5 times per week. That's what you're going to do. This is how you're going to start your day. And do that one thing at a time. Gradually add some other stuff. Add some training, go do some training. Try to get more, even if let's say you want to lose weight and you want don't go crash diet, don't go extreme. Start from getting a good, processed whole foods in your system. Don't even track calories in the beginning. Just try to substitute some highly processed food with the whole foods. If you don't want to cook at home, find the source where you can get those meals pre-made for you, and you can do it that way. And then then you can add up the calorie tracking. So you see, it's like a step-by-step journey, but it's gonna really build into the consistency, because it's, even though it's leaving your comfort zone, it's not way too much to comprehend for your brain. So it's not gonna build that much of the resistance. Can you teach me Soviet footwork, please? Well, I guess I'm gonna make more videos, or next time I stream, I'm gonna try to show you more. But yeah. My mental illness is too severe to leave my comfort zone, aka smoking. Well, anyways, I know a lot of people who have a certain diagnosis, but they try to not focus on it. And they try, like, diagnosis, mental illness diagnosis is not an end game. It is just certain things that you have to adjust to your own, thing. So usually, most of the mental illnesses that are related to motivation and depression and, lack of focus is related to the dopamine baseline, meaning that your dopamine baseline is quite low, and especially if you seek for the short-term pleasures like cheap dopamine, meaning fast food, instant gratification, pornography, stuff like that, just gives you a certain gratification, spike up, and then your dopamine baseline drops even lower. You need to start adjusting those kind of things. You need to work around through it, how to do it, but trust me, there are ways. And sometimes, even if you cannot do it alone, then try to get the help. Try to surround yourself, get the, training or accountability body. Get yourself in an environment where you do it. If you're a highly responsible person and you do things only when other people rely on you, use that as your advantage. Put yourself in the situations when you cannot say no to people, and you have to be in those environments where you basically make your routine better. It's a camera right now, and maybe a color in the smartphone. It's quite ginger. Okay, now I'm off stone. I'm all the way up to the top now. Why white people are more racist? Are you racist or not? I don't think so. I think racism is actually about the skin color. I think assuming that someone is racist based on skin color, on their skin color, is quite racist. It can be promoted by cultural and environment they've been raised in, but it's not about specifically skin color. So I heard that things that people say, oh, it's genetical. No, it's not. It's definitely cultural influence. Whether like actually, it's very interesting. I have some South African friends, and both black and white South African friends. And when they talk about races, they actually said that in South Africa specifically, now it's like black people tend to be more judgmental on the races. Whether the other parts of the world, I guess, yes, it's the thing that it can be. Some people are, like, in some countries, more like white people are more judgmental and racist, some this and that. But that's the thing. Are we talking about racist, like really, really, hating someone for their skin color, or having a certain boundaries? For example, Georgians as a country, we always had a hard time with Muslims. Like, we literally survived as a Christian country. We had so many invasions. We were constantly in survival mode. So some Georgians, they dislike Muslims. Not because necessarily Muslims, like all Muslims are bad or anything. It's just because this is our experience with the Muslims, and like it's just ingrained in the culturally how it affected people. But if you're in sane mind, if you're actually like having a basic common sense, you would never judge a person by their skin color, and you never would assume their skill set necessarily. What you would do would you would let them show what they actually represent, and then judge them by their actions and by the words. That's what I believe in. That's why I have very different groups of friends from pretty much from all around the world, even at this point. And we don't even talk about those things. It's what was like Morgan Freeman said about it. They've been asked. He was asked how to stop racism, and he said, "Stop talking about it. Just stop." If it's an actual problem, if it's like illegal action, really harassing someone because of their appearance or skin color, you definitely need to charge those people legally. But everything else, I mean, let's just stop talking about it. The one who asks that literally racist, like that's kind of the thing, What is difficulties to learn Russian or English? Russian is way hard. Georgian and Russian are way harder than English. English is one of the, it's a big language, obviously. The vocabulary of English might be even bigger than Russian. And Georgian vocabulary, though, I believe that the structure of the language is so smooth that it just, you kind of will get the groove of it quite soon. That's how you know someone is from America. Angie says, it's how you know about someone's from US. Always talk about racism. Anyways, let's not talk about it. As we said, as Morgan Freeman said, we want to stop racism. Let's stop talking about racism. Yeah, Tyler agrees with you, Angie. Kyla says, judge people by their behavior, not their skin color. Simple. Yes, by their actions, by their behavior, by their words. I'm having a trouble with hating myself, and I'm not being funny. I'm so sorry if you're at this point in your life, you're just low. Psychologically, I don't know what promoted it. Probably some outside stress happened that just influenced it. Maybe it's a childhood impact. It's usually very deeply ingrained with our childhood experiences. But also at the same time, I definitely know that your dopamine baseline, your health, your body is not at the right spot as well. So you're probably struggling with sleep. Your nutrition is not the best. You're probably trying. You might trying to do exercising and everything, but it's inconsistent because it's like both psychological and physical aspects are deeply ingrained within each other and creating that massive problem. But that's the thing. You're just self-reflecting on yourself, hating yourself, like maybe because some other people showed some resentment towards you, and probably undeserved one. But that's the thing, you shouldn't hate yourself. You really shouldn't. And start telling yourself that you shouldn't hate yourself. Even though you feel that way, start telling yourself an opposite thing, like an outsider, someone would give you an outside perspective. They would tell you that you shouldn't hate yourself. You should embrace yourself the way you are, and this is going to be a starting point to keep getting better. You can make yourself better. If there are some things you don't dislike about yourself, that's completely natural. That means that you are probably self-aware, maybe even, as you say, hating yourself is not good, but being self-aware and understanding your weaknesses is good. And from there, you need to start thinking about things that you actually can change and better, and start feeling better and even proud of yourself. And surround yourself people who are also encouraging, and if you're doing well, they're proud of you, and they show that. If you're in the wrong community, if you're in the community with constant resentment, trust me, I've been there. In my family, even in Georgia, I always try to escape that, because there are a lot of things I just disagreed with. I couldn't agree with the things how that's ingrained, some negative parts, aspects are ingrained in the culture that, raising kids, for example, yelling at them, screaming at them, don't letting them like explore the world, from the beginning, set them up for the failure. That's a lot of societies, a lot of old school parenting does that. But that's not you, right? You might be a product of it, but you can break that cycle just by simply start telling yourself, stop hating yourself, start doing physical adjustments. The best one is to fix your sleep, start exercising, and just make it better food choices. Those are the physical adjustments. You can help the psychological improvements as well. And always feel free to be in the community. You're that's what we're trying. Like me and my husband really want to make a community where there is like a chat of people actually telling each other that you got this. There's no need to hate yourself. I can see your IP address, Didi. Fuck right off, Didi. Okay. I'm hiding Didi. When I see Didi, I just hide that from the channel. Nice try, Didi. Okay, I'll keep scrolling down or up. I'm very grateful you learned English, and I admire you being unfiltered of certain topics that men go through on a daily basis, like what you said about cortisol and people habits. Yeah, I mean, thank you for appreciation, and yeah, I mean, it's not black and white, and if you target just one topic or niche, I think it's good to target a niche, but at the same time, let's talk about things that revolve and are tied within each other and integrated within each other. So when you have training, you have a science aspect of it, you have a mental health aspect of it, you have a dietary aspect of it, you have a behavioral aspect of it. There's so many things we can talk about, skill set aspect of it, acquiring a skill set and stuff, which is this stream about. So I think we need to have those deeper conversations to actually learn something from each other and get some value. I learned some Russian insults from playing stalker. Yeah, that's a funny one. I don't judge people at all. You never know what they've been through. I agree. It's a good thing to understand and kind of put yourself in the place and try to understand where people come from. But also judging, I think you can understand. I always try to understand where the people come from, and I always emphasize that, I understand where that started from. There's some things I relate to, and I understand that there's certain behaviors, why the things are the way they are. But there are certain things that needs to be judged and resented, and this is how we give people a reality check and in the society. As much I'm not talking about things like dressing up, unless you want to tell someone to dress appropriately to a certain environment, but not like those kind of things, not like old school conservative type of judgment, because let's be honest, those days are gone. They're never going to get back to it, and we don't want to get back to it exactly, but we want to have certain values, and we want to have people, we want to be able to give each other reality checks. We can have it by having a conversation. If someone does something inappropriate, I don't have to yell and scream. I don't have to call them names. I can just point out that behavior and tell them that behavior makes who you are at this moment. If you want to be a different person, you need to stop behaving that way. You need to really do something else with your life. And yeah, I think we need this type of judgment, and this type, and we need to definitely resent certain things. Trust me, there are many things in the world that we should resent and judge. But at the same time, I agree with you. Understanding where that comes from is vital, because that's vital for also helping to solve that problem, sometimes a generational problem, long term. This is what Norway did, I think. This is what, like, they started putting up the system. They like use their natural sources, build it up, and find the oil. It was wood, it was water, hydroelectric power, and it was oil. But then they started cleaning up the system the way that it just like created the high standard of living. And then their jails, if you look at the Norwegian jails, it's a rehab center, but it works for them because they set up everything to the point that now when the person gets released completely with a clean record, no one knows that they're being through jail. And I'm talking about hard crimes, but 80% don't go back. They go through the full rehabilitation. In a year, they have less than 30 murders in the 5 million population. And that most of those murders is I hate it, like emotional. It's not just a stranger attacking someone randomly on the street, not out of desperation, more like a domestic violence thing. But anyways, the point is that one of the reasons why they build up this is that they understood that if you treat a person who already been, so someone who does the crime is probably comes from that environment that everyone does a crime. They've been treated like very bad. And if you treat someone like that, put them in the jail, in the cage, limit their freedom, and you treat them even worse, you're not going to get a good outcome. What are you talking about? From the other hand, if you put the system where you treat them like people who are just lost, but at the same time you build the system that actually you teach them accountability and responsibility, and you teach them, you try to give them the purpose for living, purpose for doing certain things to be better in the society. And I mean, Google yourself, just check on YouTube the Norwegian jail. You're gonna be shocked if you have never seen it. That's one thing you should definitely see with your own eyes. Do you think stress is good for fighting? Being able to go fight and flight response, obviously, but constant stress is just going to be detrimental for the body. It's going to mess up the recovery. It's going to mess up your sleep. The higher levels of the cortisol and adrenaline they affect your sleep, and that means that everything else is going to go downhill. So as much peace and as much quiet and relaxation as possible, and then you have like high training periods, and then you have competitive periods when you are hyper alert as a fighter. But everything else, you should try to be relaxed as much as possible. A lot of things has caused it, but I'm positive I'm not in the correct health, and I'm trying to work on this. No, but just keep trying, and you're gonna get better. Just never give up, and trust me, you're gonna get better. When I started this YouTube, I just started it because Chris pushed me, and he said, "Okay, you're gonna start this." He believed in me. I didn't believe in myself, but you know what? Like I made a promise, and I said I'm gonna be consistent. I'm just gonna do it, even if it takes 10 years. I'm just gonna do it. Even if then I adapted the mentality. I said, okay, even if I help one person, that's already worth it. So it started gradually, and now my channel is growing, and it's finally started getting monetized, and that's great. And I never give up. And I had a person who also gave me checks in the moments when I was about not maybe give up, but slow down, be less consistent. He was always, reminding me why I'm doing it. So just don't give up. And this experience just taught me as well that never give up. Always keep moving. Life always gonna bring something interesting and give you opportunities. Just try to take control over things you can't control. That is actually your responsibility to control. And start gradually. Don't rush with it, okay? And everything's gonna be fine. The best is yet to come. That's true. You're doing such a good job. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Kyla says, hating yourself shows conviction. You're doing better than you feel you are. Pay it out. Jesus is there for you. Just ask him for help. Having a strong belief system is also important thing. I really do believe it. So I think Christianity can be a very, very strong foundation, and it really helps. And believing in Jesus. As I said, I have more of my own personal system of beliefs, but it's definitely believing. It's believing in something bigger. It's believing in something higher than us that actually wants to help us, want us to learn and get experience, and evolve. I believe that we are born and created for that purpose, and we need to try to fulfill our best potential. But again, no pressure on yourself. Don't compare to others. Don't compare to anything. Just compare to yourself from the previous day. And if you do slightly better, you're already doing amazing. Mr. Nate, can I get a shout out? Shout out. Shout out to you, Mr. Nate. Please say 3 or more of the best movies you saw. Okay. I haven't seen many movies before I met Chris. Then he showed me very good. He's very picky when it comes to the cinematic part. And I can tell you, the movie I really loved, and I watched it before Chris, it was the Escape from Shawshank. I think that's how it's called. That's first one of like all-time favorite. And second, like older movies. Okay, I like that movie. It's how it's called. The Jazz is Only for Women, or women. Only Women Are in Jazz, something like that. It's like an older movie. Marilyn Monroe plays there, and it's a comedy, black and white comedy, but it's hilarious. I love that movie. And third one, there are many good ones. I'm just trying to think. Sometimes I don't remember names of the movies, so it's hard to say. But yeah, there are quite a lot of movies that I really, really do like. You're from? I'm from Georgia. Thank you for this, because I believe I'm in a bad area with friends. And yes, sleep is the big thing. Thank you. I want to create a community like this as well. Really start focusing on the community. And it's better to go through a lonely phase where you're actually physically alone, but you have a God, or you have belief in yourself, whatever. And you really take that time a little bit being ascetic even, and focus on really, really rewriting your life. Sometimes you have to cut yourself from the people that you being surrounded with, because that's a certain level that you already feel that you're evolving, and you don't represent those values anymore. I've been there. I've been in many, quite frequently, I've been in the lonely phases. And I even start liking it. I don't mind being alone in periods, and really putting a thought to my purpose. What does really matter? I understood that family matters, the close community of people matters, but as long as you actually manage it right. If you start from friends, because friends you can choose. And when it comes to family, it just disappeared for a second. And with family, you don't choose family, but you have to set boundaries with the family. You have to set a new tone with the family, and you have to manage to have a relationship as much as it's possible to have it civil and have it at its positive. I've been struggling with the relationship with my family. I've been struggling with, having, not necessarily wrong people, but just people who were not really bringing that much positive. I was just feeling that it was more about gossip, especially on women. Women like gossips, and they're like, oh, let's talk about this and that, and this is the old friendship they have. And when I was started feeling that that's just not me, it just happens automatically. You feel alone and you feel lonely a little bit, but that's for better. That also indicates on that you actually you are evolving and you're getting to that another level where you actually need to create a new community, start acquiring, and try aim higher. Try to put yourself in the community that you actually can learn a lot from. Acquire those qualities that they would think that you're valuable, but there's nothing wrong with having people superior to you. That's actually even better because you're gonna be able to learn more from them. And really pay attention with with the community, with people you're talking. It's better to have one or two new friends that actually are refreshing to be around. And I'd say that this is in time they're being truthful to you and honest. But they have a good intentions. They really want you to be at a good place, rather than just people who just want you to be around for, I don't know, sometimes people want to have people around them just to mock them, to boost their ego, to feel better about themselves on other people's cost. That's not people you want to be around. Okay, guys, and keep scrolling up. Judgment without hate is healthy. Yes, I agree, Kyla. Watching from Kenya. Hi from Vietnam. What are your goals in life? Pretty much what I'm talking about, like all this time on the stream. I really want to help people build the community, have a family with my husband. We already have a little family, but you know what I mean. Children, give a chance to many younger generations and children for a better life, for a healthier environment, and both combined with the good, quiet, and safe space, but at the same time giving them an opportunity to grow their independence, become resilient, face their own challenges, but also have a strong community that backs them up. That's I think you gotta be balancing there, because that's a very common thing when resilient people they come from nothing, build a good life, but then they give everything they didn't have to their children, and they essentially grow up into spoiled brats. And that's not what you want to do to your children. So even there is no need for being resilient. You need to create that environment in the most healthy way, through training and the intellectual challenges, letting them do chores and help you around the house from the very young age, and give them the responsibilities, teach them the financial knowledge, so they understand the value of money and understand that even though there is a community and their family always going to back them up if it's needed, especially on an emergency, they need to contribute. They need to learn how to make money. They need to learn how to support themselves and basically how to navigate in life. So yeah, those are kind of my goals. And as I call side quests, I have some side quests, do some fighting in the boxing, run 100 meters on a sprint sub 12 seconds. I don't know, try to do wingsuit flying and the skydiving. My husband used to do those, so might be a chance to do very soon. I like motorcycles, so for example, we go to Kuwait, and our friend is the Red Bull, what's that called? The motocross athlete. So they basically do motorcycling in the desert, and I know how to drive a motorcycle, even though I don't do that in the streets anymore for the safety and just the common sense. I would love to do more motorcycling, like enduro motorcycling and like motocross, just for fun. And those kind of things are just side quests, just getting the most out of life. Travel together with my husband a lot and meet amazing people. But it's still kind of the main goal is still community, is still creating the chain of kindness, success, and basically supporting each other, and actually really make a change in this world. Most violent crimes are a result of fatherlessness. Yeah, I mean, you can look up the statistic. It's not necessarily an agree to disagree topic. There's certain things that are statistical, and you can look. There's like a world statistics, which is way more average. You can look up a country and the regional statistics, a state statistic. You need to look into a deeper, like even if you want to study and use statistics as the learning tool, you need to break down into compare the regional between the country range statistics, etc. But yeah, the fatherlessness is a bad thing, and it's both, both women and men need to step up to it. Both men and women need to take marriage and the partnership way more seriously, and especially when they have kids, they need to really understand that, okay, first of all, they need to decide to have kids after they're really, really pretty much sure that, okay, there are not that many things that are gonna be able to break us up, and we're gonna stick together till the end. We're gonna work through whatever is gonna come up, and we're gonna be fine. And then when you have kids, you just, pretty much like try not to end up in a situation that is like a really, how to say that, a domestic violence situation. In Georgia, unfortunately, a lot of girls marry by love, and then their parents also sometimes they escape their families because it's like, sometimes they're too strict to women, to girls in Georgia, and they marry even something worse, and then they try to escape, but their parents don't accept them, and then it's horrible. Sometimes it ends up very bad. That's not the families you want to be. That's not the cost you want. That's not the price you want to pay just to stick together. But the fact that we need the whole families, people being more aware about and responsible about creating the family unities, that's absolutely. I think that's kind of the next step, like bringing some core values, but also be more intelligent about, more evolved about it, and more prepared and approach it in a smarter way. Which country? I'm from Georgia. It does have a major impact. You can be empathetic and sympathetic without being nice. Yes, absolutely. I agree. Very good points, guys. Thank you for sharing your great points here. I agree with Norwegian prisons. I heard they are very relaxed over there, believe in rehabilitation. I've been to jail before in US, not fun, mostly for fighting. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting it. And US system, actually, they tried to adapt some of there was even Netflix series about they took some unit which was behaving pretty much well, and they started giving them gradually freedom but responsibilities, and seeing how they would end up in the communities, how it would affect the crime within the jail, the dominance hierarchy and stuff like that. So it was interesting. But before fixing up the jail, you need to fix up the country. Unless, if country, because it doesn't work. Like if you have rehab center as a jail, and then you let them out, and they end up in the same ghetto with the same crime, same environment, it's not going to really change. Most of the people are going to still delve into the same environment, Only ones who's going to probably change the state, change the country, really change the environment and start from zero, start from scratch. Those going to be more successful, but most of the people are not going to be able to do that. They're going to just go back to their homes, and literally there's going to be a mess right there. And people are actually going to want to go to jails because it's actually going to be more quiet and more peaceful there. That's not going to work that way. You still need to fix the country system first and then get to the jail system. Okay. I do feel like an outsider to society. Kind of hate the judgmental looks they give me, and besides the hating myself, it also made me romanticize loneliness a lot. But if it only looks cool in my head, but not true. Well, I mean, there are always two sides to the same coin, right? From one hand, I understand, like I resent judgment in Georgia, for example. They would just, I mean, if I wear just a top, some old lady would say, "Oh, you're a whore." It's like, it's summer, everyone wears it. Like, what are you talking about? So it's like a very Usually those people lived in the Soviet Union and they agreed with that system, so it's like a generational disagreements, right? But also from the other hand, there is certain type of look. For example, if I start walking naked around and say that, oh, like you need to accept me the way I am and you don't sexualize me when I'm literally walking naked, and people look at me like this and they have kids, they have to cover their eyes, then I'm the problem. So it's always like a two sides of the same coin, and I guess a balance is always an answer. As much as it's important to have I was saying I wanted to say a specific word, but I kind of forgot. Anyways, yeah, just balance. As much as you need to be able to live your life, and have lonely phases, and yeah, that's what I wanted to say. To be able to go through the lonely phases and be comfortable with yourself, and just don't act and think like majority, like escape the crowd mentality. But from the other hand, you gotta understand certain societal rules that are beneficial for everyone, and you gotta respect others. Like for example, you go to one country, respect the rules. You cannot change any. Like you cannot come and say, okay, now I'm bringing my rules with me. It doesn't work that way. It's always going to be majority or over minority. You can be in the minority when it comes to the revolutionary thinking and the crucial thinking, because those are the minorities who actually make an impact and make the changes in the societies. But when it comes to the basic rules of the society, like etiquette, being polite, certain dress code, stuff like that, be respectful to that. In that case, majority is over minority. How do you overcome negative comparisons to others? I just stopped comparing myself to others. That's it. And even if someone says that, oh, someone is better than me or something, okay, whatever. Especially now, me exposing myself in the social media, doing live streamings over time. A lot of people might say that, oh, she's not that good, someone else is better. Okay, good for them. I'm not really, I really stopped taking it as a negative thing. If someone is better than me, better human being, better professional, good for you. Like, it's great. It's actually great. Maybe I can learn something from you. I don't mind that. So just practice the art of detachment. It's the part of the Stoicism, the touch. It's okay to feel, but detach from that feeling. Obviously, it's unpleasant when someone tells you that you're this and that. But just detach from the feeling. Don't take it personally, because it's not personal. It's someone doing that to you. If someone gives you if someone is criticizing you, but they have a good intention, they genuinely want to help, and they give you good, valuable information. That is another important part of it. Then, kind of try to get that. Try to learn how to accept that kind of criticism. But if you see a person who judges you and criticizes you, and they tell, oh darling, I want good for you, but they just talk about your haircuts, they talk about some things that are like insignificant, and they just want to make you feel bad about yourself, and you can see the intention. And if you don't get any value out of that especially, then just still be like, yeah, okay, I'll consider it. But don't really commit to it too much. Don't really emotionally commit to it. A lot of people are going to try to make you feel bad because they feel better about themselves. So when they do that, I don't know, somehow that's how human nature works, like a negative side of it. And just detach. Don't take it personally. Shawshank, the Redemption, top 3 movie of all time. Yeah, it is. It's a great movie. Okay, guys, I'm gonna keep scrolling up because it's quite a lot, and I think I'm giving quite a long answers. I liked a girl, but she wanted to be, but she wanted me to be a cool extrovert guy. So I had to say goodbye. Well, yeah, I mean, it depends on your age. If it's like also the age when you're like outgoing and partying and stuff, well, you don't have to live according to those rules. It's better commit to things of value. Actually, commit to things that you actually can build up over time, and in the later stage of your life, you're actually going to be successful, self-sufficient, self-confident, financially stable, and it's actually as the man, it's going to be even easier, and you're going to be more demanded as the man in the market, for marriage and for even for just the dating market as well. So especially for guys, for you, the early stage of your lives, like you're 18, the early 20s, it's a weird period. Commit to training, studying, working, building yourself up, and then in a later stage you're going to think to yourself. Whether for women, it's actually quite, I mean, even though the fertility period extended because of the healthcare and better life quality and stuff, it's still we have more limited time, so it needs to be considered. And if a woman wants kids, family, and that's her priority, and yeah, she wants to have some career, she needs to find a way how to be able to have family and kids, and do the career. For that, good thing is to set up the passive income if it's possible in the early stages of your life, or remote work that is possible. You can do it together with kids, or not or and definitely look for a good man as the partner who is like, I'm not talking about millionaire, high value, all of that. Like, let's put that all aside. I'm talking about a good man who is a good family man, who is gonna be able to support her when she's the most vulnerable period and when the kids need her the most. So I think, as a woman, you should consider those aspects if you really want to have a family. And yeah, I mean, just saying that everyone has their own time, and it's about making right choices, right commitments, prioritize right things at the right time. Then in the future, you're gonna have all the positive consequences of it. Let children do dangerous things safely. Sounds like wonderful parents. Great job. Yeah, I don't even have a kid, but I worked with kids. I have two younger sisters, and one is like very young. She's like 16 years younger than me, and I had an experience with her quite a lot. I was helping with my mother. Sometimes I was just taking over and letting my mom, do her stuff, and so I would just babysit her and take care of her. So I guess I kind of got the understanding of it, even without having my own kids yet. I believe she's in Italian America. I'm Georgian. Keep scrolling. Hold up. That was longer. Okay. I'm just trying to find the ones. But trend, yes, we already saw that. Okay, here. Well, if you didn't have a girlfriend ever, like a girlfriend, a partner, there might be certain things you need to work on. What I can tell you, both, I think every woman appreciates resilience and strength and toughness in men. Whatever women would say that, oh, he needs to be emotionally sensitive. Yeah, yes, I mean, it's like a good extra thing, but I think toughness, resilience, and strength, that it reflects in physically. So if you're not that big, go gym, try to make yourself more that's also going to help many other things, that it's actually going to be good, very good for you yourself, not only for women, but it's going to also enhance your presence. Obviously, try to educate yourself, focus on learning skills, practice communication, talk to people, talk to women, for sure. Even if you fail in the beginning, that's fine. Just practice for the sake of practicing. You're definitely going to get good at it. But as I said, don't stay in that victim mentality. Don't stay in this miserable mentality that, oh, everyone is winning over, they're having families, I'm a loser. If you feel like a loser, that means you're just at the stage that you're facing, like, this is how you feel for a reason, right? But start thinking about which things you can change to stop feeling that way. Actually, which things you can change to make yourself feel proud about yourself. This is the things you need to focus on. Relationships are complicated. It's not that easy. And rather than just follow your emotions and set yourself up for the failure and do that many, many times throughout your life, it's better to commit a time to self-development first and go through the hero's journey, as called, personal hero's journey first, and then have a higher chances of success, actually being able to teach yourself how to choose the right people in your circle, partner, friends, everyone. So it's not only being attractive to others, it's actually also learning how to choose right. Yeah, keep scrolling up, guys. It's quite okay. I'm keep scrolling all the way to the top, okay? It's been quite a lot, and I think there was Georgian message. Oh yeah. Okay, I'll read it in Georgian. It's მართლა იციან თუ არა ქართველებმა რომ ბევრი თურქი სინამდვილეში ლაზი მეგრელი ქართველია. მაგალითად პრეზიდენტი ერდოღანი. არ მგონია ბევრმა იცოდეს. He's asking actually interesting question regarding, it's more like a Georgian demographics. So he's like really interested if Georgians know that a lot of Turkish are in reality the Megrelian Lazians. I think it's correct in English. Megrelian Lazian Georgians. So because with Ottomans, we had beef with the southwest borders, and there are certain lands that historically belong to Georgia, and now they belong to Turkey, and now it's been quite a centuries and long periods where people have basically Georgian roots, but they're now Turkish. And he asked if a lot of Georgians know that. Yeah, a lot of Georgians, I guess, don't know that exactly, but some of them know. That was. Yeah, I'm keep scrolling up. Or where are you from and how old are you? I'm from Georgia. I actually just responded in Georgian to my Georgian fellow. Why do you have? It's just the bands that align the jaw in the straight line. You just have to wear them for now. Most of us women really want is a woman who is safe, secure, and leads. Yes, I agree, Kyla, absolutely. And I think you even said it in a better way than I did. The reason I said resilience, strength, and toughness is actually what provides a sense of safety, security, and leadership. Obviously, being tough and strong and capable of being dangerous, not towards me and my children, not a violent man. That's sometimes there is a distortion in a lot of women. They like tough guys, but then they go for the also toxic and dangerous men who are not very good for family, like not good at all. And sometimes it's kind of creates a little bit controversy. But in reality, we want a man who can provide safety, as Kyla says, security, and lead, being a leader in the relationship and in the family. But also, and they're capable of being dangerous. They're capable of protecting, dealing like fast and quick with the hard, stressful situations. And yeah, that's what we want. And here I am, a boxer, a girl who trains, boxes. definitely been through tough periods in my life, and I believe I'm quite resilient myself. But that's the thing. My husband brought more femininity in me because he helped me to take out the obstacles that I had, and focus more on creating and going out there. Like what I'm doing now, it's not only for me; it's both for us and future for our community as well. And like as a strong man, a lot of women like, oh, like stronger man, like they compete, they have this like disagreement with it because they want a strong guy, they want a tough guy, but at the same time they don't want to be told what to do. And obviously we have conversations, and he guides me in a lot of things. I guide him on some things like boxing, and like we teach each other things. But there is nothing wrong to be told what to do if there's someone who is smart and wants the best for you. Like a lot of women rather go to the like a corporate job, essentially start hating it after years, and listen, but still like pursue career, listen to the guy who is just pays them and scream and yell at them, rather than their beloved man being able to tell them and guide them on certain things, and who actually truly wants the best for them. I never understood that. And even though I'm coming from it, I've seen toxic male behavior. Trust me, I've seen that, and I resent that, and I'm always going to resent it. But at the same time, I always had a feeling that I really want a positive, healthy, and strong, healthy influence on me and on our family and on my kids. I always wanted to make sure that they would have a good father. And fortunately, I have the husband I could only dream of. And the point is, he wants me to, like, he's saying things, sometimes he says things like unbelievable things for some people that is kind of support that like I think everyone wishes. He tells me that you're gonna be like, imagine being the first woman who competes in boxing, like amateur boxing, and in sprinting. And I was like, well, that's quite a fantasy. And he says, why? You can do it. And like he's ready to take all the obstacles for me to be able to do YouTube, to focus on the training. He helps me to with all of that kind of stuff. We both have a lifestyle that we're not attached to like a job. We're self-employed basically, and all of our sources are income. This is now YouTube is starting making money, so that is another source of income that's going to come in. And yeah, I mean, you can make it work, guys. With and for women specifically, you can have a good man who really wants the best for you, who gonna guide you, be a good leader, but actually gonna want you to shine. If you have a certain talents and you're good at certain things, they're gonna want to help you to do those things. That sounds like a good deal. Whenever I tell a story of or explain something halfway, I just like my mind suddenly stops. Cannot think of anything. What advice would you give to someone who struggled with that? Well, might be sometimes of ADD or ADHD. I don't like those kind of label diagnoses, but if you have some problems with the focus, well, you actually definitely need to fix your sleep. Training, base level of activity, because you're going to be more into learning how to went to the flow state, and that you're going to have more experiences to that. Good nutrition, for like definitely clean that up. And there are certain exercises, like cognitive exercises, that you can look up to in YouTube for the memory, for the focus. You can try practice those too. It's never bad, but I would still recommend to actually focus on basics. Fix your sleep, fix your diet, fix your nutrition, and fix your base level of activity, and also try to do some reading. Language learning helps. Do some math, do some cognitive exercises. Those are like most old school common ones, but there are some other more specialized exercises that can help with the specifically focus as well. We got to train our brains. So it is, basically some fat math with the neurons, but let's call it a muscle. You got to train that muscle too. How old are you? I'm 25 years old. Many men are too emotional for women these days. I think a lot of people are way too emotional. Being emotional is fine, but being irrational, emotional, acting on your emotions without even thinking, that is a problem. So I think most of people do that. Someone's stealing her photos then. Well, I guess someone's stealing my photos because I don't have single Tinder. I mean, me and my husband have Tinder together, but that's, let's not talk about it. My grandma just passed away. Your videos just making me have a smile on my face. My condolences, and I'm so sorry to go through that. Unfortunately, that's an inevitable part of our life. At some stage, earlier or later, we lose our beloved people. But just think about her, that she's nothing comes and goes in this life without the imprint, and it doesn't just disappear. I believe your grandma is in a better place, and she's watching you, and is proud of you, and wants the best of you. So keep smiling, keep living your life, and leave it for her memory as well. Okay, guys, I'm keep scrolling up, okay, because it's like quite a lot of engagement. Women need warrior mentality. I agree. I even tell women to get more into stoic, not exactly warrior. I like warrior mentality. I pursued it all my entire life. But feminine warrior mentality is a little bit more of the combination of calmness, nurturing, peacefulness, being able to control. I think women should be focusing on controlling their emotions even more than men, because this is our strength. But also at the same time, I believe that, yeah, I mean, responsibility. I think a lot of women, I don't like the social media trend that they're setting for women, I'm just a girl kind of thing. And, it's just I wanted this. And my husband, oh, he's so good. He tolerates all my mental illnesses. Oh my God. What are you? Are you a child? It's not the right behavior for a grown-ass woman. So grow up, take responsibility, become accountable, learn how to deal with people, relationships. Don't destroy them, try to build them. And you're going to bring way more value than just the appearance. A lot of women, unfortunately, rely a lot on their appearances. But appearances fade. I'm 25 years old. I'm probably now at my peak, but it's going to start fading. Probably because of my lifestyle. I don't smoke, I don't drink alcohol, I train, both of me and my husband gonna look good. He's 43 and he looks amazing for his age because he trains, good genetics, combination of many stuff. But at some point we all get older. We're not gonna be that pretty. And that's gonna be more visible what value we leave behind us. That's the whole reason muscles are attractive. It's how they can defend, protect if need be. Yes, Kyla, absolutely. Well, actually, I appreciate you coming there because there are not that many females watching me. And I like that more and more women, very wisdom-based mindset, and good women are joining my channel. That was my intention from the beginning. I wanted to be open for everyone. But now I see more and more female feedback, and I really do appreciate it. So Kyla, shout out to you. Okay, I'm gonna keep scrolling up, guys. Sounds like you and your husband are perfect for each other. God bless you both. I appreciate you, Kyla. And we worked through it. We had a traits, a character traits that definitely we pragmatically looked into it and we identified it, and we had a feeling that that's going to be some we could be able to bring, like, build up something. But there are a lot of things we learned and we grew in the relationship. So actually to become perfect for each other, we grew, we made that was a conscious choice. So even for people who start relationships, in the beginning it might not be exactly perfect, but if both of you make that choice that you want to stick together and you want to make it work, this is when it becomes beautiful. Hi Peru, hi everyone, guys. I appreciate you all being here. Okay, I'm now on the top. I had a discussion yesterday, meaning which says, let me know the truth. Should you make a side step every time when you throw a hook? No, you don't have to do it. It's a good way. I just like side step plus hooks because it's actually one of the best way to just redirect the fight, you know, and escape the punchline, avoid the ropes. But if you're actually in the offense, and you're just offending and you're doing like hook, for example, throwing hooks, uppercuts, you know, mixed punches, it's just, yeah, you just do it. You slightly adjust, but you don't really need side steps for it. So side steps is more a defensive, when you're in the defensive position. Okay, keep scrolling up. You're a fighter. I'm a boxer technically, and I want to get back to some competitive boxing, some fights, and share it on my YouTube and see where it goes. But I'm more of the coach, I think. I'm like, with my personality, I'm a trainer, I'm a teacher, so I like to learn and I like to teach. And we talk about fights here too. I mean, most of people just set that topic themselves. They like to talk about UFC, mostly, apart from boxing. And yeah, I watch some of the UFC, and you know, like I was watching before as well, and I always keep myself, especially with the YouTube now. I think it's that is a responsibility to me. So, especially lately, I'm being kind of rewatching the history of the martial arts more consistently as well. What is your most lethal punch? I think it's more a combination. Like if I do like a jab, hook, uppercut, you know, like hooks. Hooks are apparently left hook is the highest knockout rate throughout the all punches, because a lot of times you finish your combo with the left hand in general. So, and it's commonly hook. So a left hook or like a front hook, depends which stance you have, is one of the strongest ones. So I guess for me it's the same. My left hook from the angle, not from the, like, not just the brief hook, but like a shift and the hook after, is probably the strongest one. Hooks are great, I agree. Yes, Lewis, I mean, it's also statistics. There are statistics on which punches are the most efficient for the knockout performance. I finished with the first right direct, that's it. Well, you just can do, yes, you can do it. I think my right cross is quite strong as well. Are you Southpaw or Orthodox? I'm Orthodox. It just, the live streams flip the picture and it seems like a Southpaw, but this is the left arm. Which country? Georgia. Do you like George Foreman? Yes, I like George Foreman. The big George, a scary man. Did you watch Pacquiao versus Barrios? Yes, I watched Pacquiao versus Barrios, and it made me smile entire time. It was a good fight. Both were respectful, but it was definitely not rigged fight. It was exchanging fight, that is common in boxing when neither of boxers pursue for a knockout, but they exchange and really outboxing each other. And when they say, as much as Barrios was respectful and decent, shout out to him. When they were saying, "Oh, he will," even commentators were talking about that he's gonna win. He can win just with the jab. And once he started using more of the jab, he was using it more than Pacquiao. But then when he tried to press more with the jab, it didn't work. Pacman still has his explosive contra combos and footwork. And 46 years old and moving that way and having such gas tank. It might not be a prime Pacquiao, but 46 years old and looking like a great level, like a 30-year-old boxer at his prime, that was good. And I don't think it was, I actually believe that he won. Like, my humble opinion, I would give that draw to Pacquiao, because simply he actually managed, he was imposing his game plan. Barrios, from the other hand, he wasn't able to execute that much of the jab. Whenever he was trying to push that much, he would always get this left cross or hook from Pacquiao, and then like shift, and then again. So he had to be careful. So I think Pacquiao actually imposed more of the fight game, and that's what always been his style. It didn't matter if he would get punched or not. Like, he would find a way how to get there, throw those punches, and get back from the middle range. He didn't get close range that much in this fight. He was working quite from the far distance as well. And yeah, I mean, it was just heartwarming to see him doing well. He's one of my favorite all-time boxers, and I think personalities as well. What age did you start boxing, and has it affected your mental health in positive outcome? I started it at year 15, I think. No, it was karate. I think 15, 16, somewhere there. So it's been over 10 years, and definitely it has only positive impact on my mental health. Absolutely. I subscribe. Cool, you're a boxer. Me too. Hi, Rusty. Good for you. Great to have here in the chat some fellow boxers. How are you? I'm doing well. Exactly. I said the Pac-Man won, I think. But it was close enough that you'd be called draw. Like, I'm not necessarily unhappy with the outcome, but I think with a slight shift, Pacquiao won. It was very transactional fight. You watched the UFC? I watched some highlights of Poirier and Holloway. Actually, I fell asleep that night, so like I had to rewatch it later. And with UFC, I didn't manage to find the full fight yet because it's probably not uploaded. But yeah, I mean, as I said, I was saying that even though Poirier had the 2-0 against the Holloway, I thought Holloway would take that one because he was more determined, and Dustin seemed like just already like wanting to retire and being tired. And I love, he's one of the great fighters, great gladiators, warriors, and family man. I really have a huge respect to the Diamond. Do you think Manny won? As I said, I think he won. Agreed, one of the greatest ever, yes. Canelo versus Crawford, who will win and why? I'm not exactly sure. Both are great. Canelo has this mix of the Mexican style, like extreme power, with technical. He's technical. Like, you can't just call him just a Mexican classic, like a Mexican school. I think he's quite a hybrid. But Crawford, man, that guy is a matrix. Like you look at his boxing style, like shape, it doesn't really look that good to me, for example, because his elbows are quite, like, he's like literally almost having an MMA striking stance sometimes. But the reason why he's like that, because the guy has a very high boxing IQ. He knows when to punch. So there is a high chance that Crawford just outboxes Canelo. Obviously, from both ways, there is the striker's luck can happen from both sides, and I can tell you exactly who's going to do that. But I have a feeling that Crawford might outstrike Canelo, outbox Canelo. I don't know. Share your opinion. I did competitive boxing around for 2 years. A lot of open ring sparrings and fights, and some of the IBA records. So it was Georgian national team, and there was like, what was it? I think I had one. Yeah, I had one competition like outside of the country, but it was nothing big. After that, I still kept sparring as a sparring partner for others, and I kept working on, like, I really focused on boxing as the technique outside of the ring. And now I'm looking forward to get back to it, and with all the knowledge, all the experience, all the understanding I acquired throughout these years, and physicality as well, I'm way stronger, physically way stronger than I used to be when I was 17, 18. I'm planning to now try to get more into sparring and fighting and see. My aim is to do amateur boxing, back to the amateur boxing. So the first real step would be a national team, nationals, but at the same time we'll see. Me and my husband travel a lot. We already know quite a lot of people. We know some promoters, and we know people in the fighting community and in the boxing community. So maybe pros. I don't know. We'll see. Like, that is not exactly established, but I really want, even for this channel's sake, I really want to show more of that kind of stuff. Not only my technique, the way I show you now, but also how I actually can take my game plan, my mindset, how I can put it on the ring. What is the, like, step-by-step guidance to get back to the sparrings, how to adapt again to it. All of those kind of things I would want to share with you guys. So yeah, that is kind of the thing that I'm looking forward to. Come to Texas and teach my Dallas start NHL hockey team how to fight. You're kidding me. You are the hockey coach. That's awesome. And of course, you're from Texas. I mean, me and my husband love Americans from Texas. You rock. You're very cool. Poirier versus Holloway wasn't a good fight. As I said, I didn't watch the fight, just saw some highlights. But yeah, a lot of people were. I mean, basically, Dustin just did not let Holloway. At least he managed, did not let him knock him himself. So he didn't end up knocked out like Gaethje versus Holloway, for example. But yeah, it's. I guess. I mean, when you're just tired and you want to retire, anyways, it really affects your mentality towards that fight. As a boxer, you must absolutely love Topuria, and I do. I definitely, regarding his style especially. The guy, his team, they managed to put the boxing put the most of it that you can put in the MMA style and MMA strategy, and dominate other strikers and other wrestlers. So I think it's like one of the rares, and maybe even like Topuria might be one of the best ones like now, because he's like a new generation boxer, and like obviously it's like evolving. He really put the beauty of the boxing in the MMA and actually show how to dominate with boxing in the MMA. Can you wrestle? A little bit. I'm not a professional wrestler, but I have some experience. A lot of Pac-Man need money for an old warrior is not fun to watch. Well, I'm not exactly sure about that, because, well, he gave away a lot of money for the charity and stuff. I know that, like, more than half of the money he made from entire boxing, but I really believe he actually still got it. He, like, for warriors like him, people who literally grew into boxing, that's his entire life, it's hard to retire. And so far he actually managed it very well. I like that they adjusted his style and his strategy. Like, he's not that Pacquiao that he used to be, but now he's more pacing, he's more careful, he's more calculated, and it also showed he's extremely high fighting IQ one more time when it comes to the pacing, not only just pursuing the knockout outcome. You like Usyk? Yes, I like Usyk. You can watch one of my previous streams where I talked both fights about Usyk versus Dubois and Pacquiao versus Barrios. I really like Usyk, also one of my favorite boxers. Okay guys, I'm keep scrolling a little bit way more like up. Yeah, so now I'm up to the top. You would like some borscht. Greetings from Russia. I was raised on borscht because my mom is half Russian, half Ukrainian. So like she definitely made the borscht. But I would say, I mean, sometimes I enjoyed it. It's not my favorite, personal favorite. I prefer pelmeni. I love pelmeni. Matt says, had to go for a walk. Lansky course and need to get exercise. Good for you. That's great. I love that you keep it up consistently. Hi, Steven. Morning. I hope you're doing well. I've been thinking about training and getting in a few and show up some of the extra bouts. I'm not the baddest, but the win or lose, they would not be able to forget me. Yeah, I mean, definitely different fighters fight for different reasons, and yeah, as I said, but I think everyone wants to be at the top. But yeah, there are some fighters who are great, but not the best out of best, but they're still great fighters and they still bring a great legacy. Also, there is a generational exchange now. So one generation substituting another in the UFC specifically. So this is kind of like a time. Actually, do you know, have you heard about this girl, Dakota Dicheva? She might be a new, like, I believe she's going to end up in UFC, and that's going to be a fresh thing for women's UFC. She, like, people already call her a female Joan Jones, and she seems like a sweetheart. So gonna be exciting. So the point is, it's evolving now very rapidly, both men and women's divisions. Pac-Man needs to retire. Don't want to see him get hurt. I agree. I don't want. But you saw he stopped for 4 years. Box now. That's probably, he might do maybe another fight, but that's it. Like, it's like age limitations. It's age limitations. Okay, and keep scrolling up. I'm just a street fighter, but Pops Keto Master. I love the tactics of the discipline. Well, just go to the gym. If you have the street fighting experience, that means you're tough, you're resilient, you're not scared. So just put a system for yourself. Just go start training. No, really start do it. Ivan says, been training for a while and have not had my first fight yet. I'm currently at the heavyweight. Oh, that's a tough one. Do you think that's a good weight class to start if you should cut weight? I rather recommend you to cut as much as you can. Cut through the calorie deficit, meaning that get the calorie tracking up and control your calorie intake, high protein, and just still maintain the deficit to cut down the weight. And then maybe you can do water cut. If you are at the heavyweight, you can probably cut 2 to 3 kilos of the extra kgs with a water cut, not more than that. And yeah, start as low as, if you can do light, even if you can go down to the middleweight, that would be good. Just start as low as you can, so you have an advantage. Have not heard her about the Doda Martinez from Brazil, 5'10", Amazonian goddess. Yeah, heard about her too, and I think I watched some of the highlights. But Yeah, I mean, women's divisions are also evolving. Like, there's some good technicians and great female fighters are coming up. Matt says, only trained judo since I was 7, but Apache knife fighting training for 3 months. Oh, that's cool. Actually, that's those kind of type of like self-defense type of styles. I would want it to at some point when I have more time and more money. I would definitely like to do something like that. Henry says about you're beautiful and braces. Well, thank you, but the reason why it's like this, it's because of the braces. I had very narrow teeth positioning, and my dad basically told me if you really want to not lose your teeth, just expand the thing. Like I had to put on braces to expand my teeth positioning, and I guess it's a few more months left, and I'm gonna take them off. Can you tip me how can I do more flexibility? Well, you need to do flexibility, mobility training. Try to do some mobility exercises, which can help you just to increase the range of motion in different movements. I can do a separate live stream for it or separate video to do it in the detailed. Okay, but for now you can just look it up. To find mobility training. You don't want just to have flexibility. You want to have mobility, meaning that you can have a control, but also a flexibility at the same time. Bye-bye. It's funny because people are always trying to test me because I'm nice and easygoing, but they usually learn quick. I try not to strike. I rather control the breathing. That's a good attitude. Even as a street fighter with the street fighting experience, you already have that attitude. Don't engage in the conflict unless it's necessary. As a man, be capable of the violence, but don't do it unless it's necessary. That's a good attitude. And what are you doing? Why don't you do more of the sports training, like as an addition to your probably natural fighting skill set? I believe, Ivan says, I believe I have quite a good footwork and movement for a heavyweight. Not a lot of skill in the heavyweight division, especially at the lower levels. Yeah, I agree. If you have a good footwork, well, I would still start the light heavyweight. I think, and a lot of heavyweights started from the light heavyweight and then went up. So just between those two. But if you think that your footwork and stamina as well, are on point and they're gonna give you an advantage, you already pretty much won. What's your favorite discipline in MMA? What's the most important combination? It's proved now that some strikers win over grapplers because they have stronger striking in just a single takedown defense. Some obviously a lot of like amount-wise in UFC and MMA, like octagon MMA. Yes, like wrestling, grappling helps a lot. But now I think the style shift is moving towards a lot of stronger striking becomes to the point that it's kind of hard to say now. Before when it was like Ultimate Fighter and they tried to find the ultimate style, the Gracie family, like coming up with the BJJ background, dominating everyone. That was different times. Now, I think you gotta have both. Ivar says, I'm Samba national champion and I'm thinking of dropping out of school to train full time. Well, that's the thing. I mean, I didn't drop out of the school and I don't encourage that necessarily, but I didn't really go the last degrees. Like, yes, I got my diploma, but like I didn't basically do much in the last years. Chris dropped out at the 8th grade and that's the thing. School system, unless you really want to pursue a classic education, high school, then to do college and university, a bachelor's, master's, doctors. Unless you have a medical degree or something that you really need to pursue and commit to, man, just follow your heart. If you have a better, you're a national champion in the sambo, and you seem like Russian. That's a tough accomplishment. Like they're the big competition in sambo, meaning that you are already great and greater than most of your opponents in Russia. If you have a better chances to build your life that way, just pursue that. Just getting ready, not ignoring anyone if I miss anything. Nah, it's all good. I actually have 20 more minutes maximum because I have a personal training session in 20 minutes. So yeah, I gotta be ready. Those rubber bands hurt? No, it's fine. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to do something. I'm gonna have to take the extending cord, and I will need to take out the microphone and charge my phone a little bit because apparently it's dying. So yeah, just let me know how it's gonna sound. Okay, that should be good. Okay, let me know how it's gonna sound in a second. Okay. Okay, let me know how that sounds. It should be okay. My phone captures the sound quite well. I've never met a redhead who doesn't make it a major part of their personality. Yes, that's true. That's a very cliche, but what can we do? I'm not even a natural redhead. I'm just an imposter. Braces are medieval torture devices. I'm convinced. That's fine. I raced BMX and dirt bikes my whole life. Definitely not little. Just never understand why fools wanted to try anyone that beats themselves up for a living. It's human nature. I think it's just people's ego mixed with the delusion. I think where you come from, if it's the US, a lot of people are entitled, and a lot of people don't really have understanding of real street fight. And yeah, they just, and a lot of, I'll say the funny phrase. The biggest delusion in women is that all of them think they're 10, most of them think they're 10, and the biggest delusion in men is that most of them think that they can fight. Now you tell me, is it true or not? Thank you for teaching me flexibility, even though I'm doing my cardio, not stable. So much injuries during the shuttle playing. Yes, you gotta be careful, but you also need the strength. So you definitely need the strength training. You need some isometric training for your joints to make your knees stronger, for example, your ankles stronger, elbows, and just pretty much the joint training as well. So yeah, I might do a separate live stream regarding that, and I'll, as I always try, announce it in advance so you can look it up before. Kyla says, I have the rubber bands too, and extended in the roof of my mouse that expanded. Hadgar, it's night. Glad that's over. Yeah. Well, fortunately, my teeth were not that bad. I shouldn't complain. It wasn't that horrible. My teeth were just a little bit narrow, and that's why it's getting good quite quick. And it's gonna be over soon. But I'm pretty much used to it and don't feel bad. Okay, keep scrolling up, guys. My weight is 55 kg, which is the best workout for the muscle growth. It's not about workout, it's about the repetitions and the impact. If you really want to grow your muscles, You need to do hypertrophy training, which is between aim for 8 to 12, 15 repetitions, somewhere in between that. And you need to pursue the muscle failure, meaning that you do the repetition. Like, for example, you do horizontal pulls, you do pull, and then slower on the way on eccentric phase, slower on the way back. And you do controlled repetitions like that. You don't go fast, you're not jerking that weight, you do controlled repetitions, as I said. And especially on the latest sets, like you can do 3-4 sets of, as I said, between 8 to, let's say, 12 repetitions each set. And on the last one, you just try to get to that muscle failure. So you need to moderate the weight according that sense. But how long are you going to be able to fight? What would your fallback be if you could not fight anymore? Well, I'm gonna try, and I'm definitely not gonna do it like full time, unless I accept it in the national team. If I go pro, with pro, you can just kind of do like a couple times a year, not very crazy, especially on the beginning at the lower level, kind of build up your record. So I definitely not looking forward to do it like a full time crazy. I'm already training quite consistently and full time anyways, but like fighting itself, I'm not looking forward to, go get those risks of the damaging my head. Even though it's not that common in women, but still, you gotta be careful with those things. And like the newer approaches, newer protocols actually are all about that. Less heavy sparring, more of the smart work, tactical work, technical work, etc. Sambo guys dominate UFC. Yeah, Sambo doesn't really make good money though. Well, okay, then maybe. Well, when you do the sport, you have rather coaching options. Would you get paid well for the coaching? If you would pursue MMA, for example, and that would be a good thing. But also, yes, you need to, before dropping out of school, if you, again, if this is here, this or that, and you gotta look at let's say you're good at math and you can become a good IT, and that could make like you could travel around, be able to make a passive income, remote income. I wouldn't give up on that. I would try to combine this two. Okay, I know a lot of people who combine sports with their training, and they were fine. So just be smart about it, okay? Don't drop out of school if you actually think that can give you opportunity for something better in the future. Kyla says, unless you're pursuing an academic career, skip university, better off learning a trade, plumbing, electrical. Yeah, like those kind of jobs, especially in the Western world, are getting more and more demanded. And yeah, I absolutely agree with Kyla. Especially in US, with that university loans, with that one of the loans that doesn't gets cleaned up, and your record, your credit record becomes fucked up. No, man, thanks. Like, if you really want to study, just go to Europe or somewhere. Like, as a US citizen, I actually can. I think there are some programs that you can do studying in Europe, and it's way cheaper. Some countries even have free education, like Norway. Yes, for the bachelor's degree, you need to know Norwegian, but it's free. Like, so there are better ways. Charging time, it's thirsty. Well, yeah, you gotta fill it up when it's thirsty. Tough style. You're so cool as hell. I wish you all the best, and I wish you were LA based. Well, that's the thing. Me and my husband might come to US if I get visa approved. We already have invitation. We have certain things to do there, and if that happens, that would be amazing. But thank you very much for your words and engaging. You're cool as well. You seem like a very cool person, but also very down to earth and very smart. And yeah, just keep stay for another streams too, guys. Like feel free to engage in another streams, and always happy to talk to some familiar, well, not faces, but names. Okay, I keep scrolling up, guys. Okay, it's a little bit echoing, but anyways, yeah, it sounds okay. I'm just scrolling almost all the way to the top, guys. Okay, Kyla, just go ahead. Like it's 3 a.m. Oh, yeah, like the time difference. I always forget about it. But yeah, just take care. And guys, don't. Oh, Matt's parents live in Texas. I mean, we love Texas. Texas is cool. Anyways, guys, don't kill your sleep. I'm gonna leave in 10 minutes myself, so you can stick with me if you want. But yeah, don't cut down on your sleep. Sleep is important. I did graduate high school, and I would love to do academic challenges. As I said, like there are a lot of learning. Like how to say, there are certain things they can really learn by itself. You can do the business learning, like you can learn biology basically. You can learn math. There's so many things you can learn by yourself or through the courses. So like you don't have to go necessarily classic orthodox academic studying. As I said, especially in US, like no point unless you have money to pay for it. I don't think there is a point. Yeah, I would love to come to Texas. I mean, definitely. One day. I'm just gonna be crazy miserable if I stay in school too. I'll probably speak with my father about dropping out this week. Well, talk about this, but also ask what options. Like you need to be able to support yourself in life, right? And you ideally should do that in a way that you don't hate it, right? Like I became a personal trainer after stopping my boxing career in the amateurs. Like back then, I decided to go something like close to what I love, which is training and boxing, this and that. So I became a personal trainer and fitness coach and boxing coach. So I did like many type of coaching. Now I'm doing personal training online, and I actually make quite a good money, especially for this part of the world in Southeast Asia. And I work more remotely. So it opened like gradually unlocked so many opportunities, and I love what I do. I genuinely love doing what I'm doing. So think about things that you might not gonna hate. You're actually gonna be consistent about it. You're gonna like what you do, but also gonna bring you a good income that's gonna help you to navigate in your life. Maybe even some skills that they're gonna bring you many opportunities potentially. There's some professions that it's not only one directional. It can open different doors potentially. And yeah, talk to your father and ask his opinion as well. Hope this conversation gonna go well. Should I drop every hobby and pursue MMA full time, or work at each martial arts by itself? If so, what combat sport is the best base for MMA? And thank you. In the modern MMA, because it's evolving so fast, go both striking, build up solid striking, build up solid groundwork. Otherwise, like now, those are the fighters like Ilya Topuria, Islam Makhachev, who has great striking and great grappling. Like you cannot afford not being good or being slightly better or less better at one of those. So just go to the generic MMA gym. They usually have split classes. They have like BJJ class, they have kickboxing class, boxing class, overall MMA classes. You can just attend all of those, train at all of those, get the experience, and again, drop your hobbies. I mean, if you're willing to, just go ahead. Why not? If you really want to commit to it. I also know, for example, a lot of fighters in the gym I'm training at, they fight, but they also coach. So that is comfortable way. You actually have a job where you get paid, you get certified. It's like, you just, the gym helps you with that. You kind of can tell them that, like I want to support myself as well, but I also want to do fighting. So you can coach and train at the same time. That's a good way to do it. That would be awesome. Definitely a great motivation to get me working again. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to hear that. Portuguese? No, Georgian. Kyla said, I subscribed and liked, and I'm looking forward to hanging out again. You're super duper super cool too. Thank you, Kyla. I appreciate you. You're super cool too. And as I said, thank you. Finally, a based, grounded, stoic woman in my chat. And I hope you're first, but not the last. I believe they're like, let's bring those women who are just doing their best, having their families, like doing good at what they're doing. Let's bring them more in the community, so more of the men also can see that what they see on the social media, all this attention-seeking girls. That's not all women. Good, natural, the most beautiful hair I ever seen. Well, it's not even natural, but thank you. It looks natural though. Do you know Gennady Kvikvinia? Yes, I know him. I actually, I met him personally too. He's the arm wrestler, another quite famous Georgian arm wrestler. Enjoy what you're doing is absolutely the key. Yes. I no way I'm leaving your stream until it ends. I'm having fun hanging out. Feels fulfilling somehow. Appreciate you. Okay, yeah, let's hang out 5 more minutes basically, because as I said, after that I will have to go work basically. Hey, my parents taught me a lot, which irritates me. I really hate them when they tell me something to do. They don't even let me have my privacy. What should I do? I'm from India. I hope you understand. Well, in India, I guess that family structure is very, very tight. Georgia's are pretty much similar too, and I've been there. I had way worse relationship with my family before when we had to live together. Now I love them, they love me, and we support each other, and everything's good. So if you're old enough, if you're at least like 18 and you're a consenting adult and you can, just get out of your parents' home, find a job, just start your own life, go ahead, do it. They might not like it, they might get crazy, but try to get the job where you can be able to afford the rent or something like that. Or maybe you could live there, but just kind of get partially independent. I know that it's hard to stay in that environment, and ideally you would want to start your own life. Maybe it's going to be from scratch, but if you manage it, that's worth it. I did put last week. I'm a history whiz. I think would be great teacher. I would do. I was allowed to present the real history. Yeah, absolutely. Well, they're like two. I think the educational system gonna change for a little bit better soon, and but it's always gonna be like there's always gonna be the pieces of propaganda to it. Like for example, Georgian and Russian history in Russian and Georgian are taught completely differently, and that like really creates misinformation. Though there are many other opportunities. If you're a teacher, I believe you can have a YouTube channel. I believe you can and I learn a lot of history or relearn a lot of history through YouTube, and obviously double checking those facts in this through AI and original sources. But trying to find the right answers, and that could be something that could bring you some income. It takes some work and some time to commit to it, but might be one of the possibilities. Private tutoring might be a thing, like the classes, let's say call it a true history, which is a little bit hard thing to say because history itself is, slightly weak. A lot of things we don't know exactly, and events are slightly changed historically, but you could call it truthful history. Who you for from Merabdalashvili? Absolutely Merabdalashvili, because he has unmatched cardio. The only person who's gonna be able to outcompete Mirab is someone with a strong cardio. Oh, ideally with strong punches as Ilya, because Mirab has quite a strong chin. So, anyways, yeah, I don't see right now anyone to match him in the division, because stamina, that's what matters. Like, a lot of people don't understand, but stamina is like one of the key aspects of the fight. But guys, I'm scrolling all the way up, and well, thank you. Is it like a, I don't know where is it, but is it another donation? I don't know, guys, how those donations and super likes like work. So okay, let's. I guess it's good. I'm Georgian, but guys, I really need to run now. I really need to run now. I think it was quite a productive conversation, and essentially it went into a friendly conversation as well, and I really appreciate it. I see you in the next live stream, which is going to be tomorrow, and yeah, well, I have to go. I'm sorry. Personal client waiting for me. Anyways, yeah, thank you all for engagement, and I appreciate you, and I hope that this information was helpful. So, bye bye. Thank you guys. Love you.